Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Do you remember the awe-inspiring days when the A380 first graced the skies? Well, that was Grant, but the Airbus 380, the colossal double-decker jumbo jet, is gearing up to make a triumphant return to the skies in 2007. Singapore Airlines got the first A380, starting the era of this two-story Wonder 14. Airlines started using it, with Emirates being the biggest fan. They got almost half of the 251 A380s made, but things changed. People wanted to fly directly to their destinations, even if it meant smaller planes. Also costly to run, but in 2019 Airbus, the company that made the A380, began stopping its production. In 2021, Emirates will get the last A380. Actually, when COVID-19 hit, people stopped flying on many airlines, but their A380s were in storage or retired. It seemed like the big plane time was over, but after COVID-19, airlines needed plates, and new ones were delayed. This made airlines think about the A380 again as travel started picking up. Airlines wanted big planes like the A380 to carry more passengers, so even though it seemed like the A380 was done, it's getting another chance because airlines need plates and people want to fly again. Lufthansa and Etihad Airways are starting to use Airbus A380s again. Lufthansa took two A380s from Spain to check them and fix any problems. Etihad Airways from the United Arab Emirates also take one A380 out of storage. They want to fix 4 of these plates, and Lufthansa wants to fix 3 at first and maybe more later. The story of the A380 begins in the 1990s, when people mostly traveled between big hub airports. The A380 was built to fit up to 853 passengers if all the seats were economy seats. Airlines liked it because it helped them make the most of crowded airports. The airplane's big size and innovative design impressed both travelers and those in the aviation industry. The idea for this airplane started a long time ago, in 1988, and it was officially announced in 1990. Airbus wanted to make an airplane that could compete with another big airplane called the Boeing 747, which was very popular for log traps. The A380 project was known as the A3XX. At first, it took a lot of money, about $10.7 billion, to make it happen, and the program officially started in 2000. The first A380 plane was shown to the public in 2005, and it flew for the first time in April of that year. It got permission to fly from aviation safety agencies in Europe and the US in 2006, but there were some problems with making the airplane. The wires that carry electricity inside the plane were causing trouble, so making the plane took longer than expected, and the costs also became much higher than they thought. The first 380 was given to an airline called Singapore Airlines in 2007, and it flew until 2021. At first, many A380 planes were being made each year, but later on, there were fewer orders. One big airline, Emirates, which ordered a lot of A380 planes, decided to reduce the number they wanted in 2019. Because of this, Airbus said they would stop making 380 planes in 2021. The last A380 was delivered to Emirates in December 2021. The A330 is very big and can carry around 525 passengers, but it can hold up to 853 passengers if the seats are arranged tightly. It's powered by special engines made by Engine Alliance or Rolls-Royce, which help it fly for long distances up to about 9,200 miles until December 2021. Many A380 planes flew all around the world on more than 800,000 flights. That's a lot, but thankfully there were no accidents or crashes, so no one was hurt, and no planes were totally damaged, even though the A380 was a big project that cost a lot of money and didn't make enough money back for Airbus in 2016. Its base price was a staggering $432.6 million, but actual prices were lower due to discounts negotiated with buyers. Some experts even doubted if the A380 project would ever be financially viable back in 2007. Singapore Airlines sold its first A380 to Dr. Peters for $197 million, which was a significant drop from the list price in 2016. Called IAG, led by Willie Walsh, expressed interest in the A380 but criticized its high cost. Walsh considered sourcing the planes from the second-hand market instead of buying new ones at such a high price. The A380 was said to cost around $26,000 per hour to operate, which translates to roughly $50 per passenger seat per hour when it's configured to carry 520 passengers. In comparison, the Boeing 777 costs $44 per seat per hour, and the Boeing 747 costs $90 per seat per hour as of November 2015. One unique feature of the A380 were its big wings and tail surfaces, which were designed to allow for a possible future stretch of the aircraft. However, this stretch never happened, leading to a higher empty weight per seat. Despite this, the A380's cost per seat was expected to be similar to other advanced aircraft like the A350-1000 and the Boeing 7779. Since its official announcement in December 2000, a total of 14 airlines have placed orders for the A380. Even after the manufacturer announced the end of A380 production on February 14, 2019, some airlines, including the 15 operators Hi-Fly Malta, continued to show interest. Out of the 14 original airlines, 8 are currently operating the A380, as are some other airlines like Air France. China Southern Airlines, Malaysia Airlines and Thai Airways have either stopped using these plates or have not said if they will use them again. Thai Airways was thinking about it, but they haven't decided yet. Another company called Hi-Fly stopped using A380s in 2020. China's Southern Airlines put their last 2 A380s in storage in California. Tim Clark, who's the boss of Emirates Airlines, said that if airlines stop using A380s and similar planes like Boeing 747s, ticket prices might go up. He said this because there won't be big planes with 4 engines to carry many people, and as more people want to fly, there won't be enough space in smaller planes, so prices might get higher. Tim Clark said this in 2022. It also mentioned that some airlines were happy that Emirates had fewer A380s because it was doing better than other airlines. In other words, airlines are starting to use big planes again after keeping them in storage, and if these big planes disappear, flying could become more expensive due to less space for passengers, according to the executive. If Dubai's airport wanted to grow really quickly, like Emirates Airline wished, that would mean having 200 A380 airplanes flying there. This made a lot of people worry, as per what the executive said, but there's a catch: these big planes, called A380s, aren't perfect. The boss, Clark, mentioned that the engines in these A380 planes were made back in the 1990s and early 2000s. That's a long time ago. Nowadays, engine technology has improved a lot. For example, the engines on European planes like the Airbus A380 are much better. One way to understand this is by looking at something called the bypass ratio. It's like a measure of how efficiently an engine uses fuel. The A350 engines are really good at this, with a bypass ratio of 9. The A380 engines, called the Trent 900s, have a ratio between 8.5 and 8.7 to 1. This means they're not as efficient as they could be. Fuel costs have always been a problem for the A380. It uses a lot of fuel because it's a huge plane with 4 engines. In contrast, twin-engine planes are much better at saving fuel because they're lighter and use more advanced engines. One big issue is the weight of the A380. Even without fuel, it's really heavy. It can weigh anywhere between 361 and 373 tons, while another big plane, the 747-8i, only weighs around 295 tons without fuel. Even though oil prices have gone down from their highest point, they can still change a lot for various reasons, like politics. So the A380 has been facing problems because of its fuel consumption and the cost of oil. If the countries that sell petroleum decide to cut down on oil production, even though people all over the world still want more oil, this can create a problem for airlines as they get ready for the busy travel season. Big airplane makers like Airbus and Boeing are having a tough time because of problems with getting all the parts they need. Only the ones making larger planes are doing okay while delivering their jets on time, even if airlines wish they could get more big planes. There's a bit of a snack: the factories that used to make huge planes like the A380 and B747 are being changed to make smaller ones like the A321neo and 737 MAX, but here's a twist. Despite all these changes, airlines seem to still really like the A380. They might not officially say it, but their love story with this giant airplane could continue, showing how complicated things can be in the world of air travel. Thanks for watching.